Captain Una Park stood on the bridge of the steadfast dawn and watched the stars. She had been watching stars for 20 years now. She had seen them from Earth, from Mars, from the cold stations that floated between worlds. But she had never seen anything like this. The signal had come 3 days ago. It was not natural. It was not human. It was something else, something that had never happened before in all of human history. "Captain," said Lieutenant Hana Cho from her station, "we are getting closer. The signal is very strong now." Una nodded. She was a small woman with short black hair and calm eyes. She had fought in the border conflicts 10 years ago. She had seen death. She had given orders that killed people. But none of that had prepared her for this moment. "Dr. Kim," she said, "what can you tell me?" "Dr. Teho." Kim looked up from his screens. He was tall and thin, with glasses that he always pushed up his nose when he was nervous. He was pushing them up now. "The signal is definitely made by someone," he said. "It repeats. It has patterns. Captain, this is real. This is first contact." Una felt her heart beat faster. First contact. Humans had dreamed of this for hundreds of years. They had sent signals into space. They had listened for answers. And now, finally, someone had answered. "Take us in," she ordered. The steadfast dawn moved forward. It was a good ship, strong and fast. Una had commanded it for 5 years. She trusted it. She trusted her crew. But trust would not be enough today. Today, they needed luck. They found the source of the signal 2 hours later. It was a ship. But it was not like any ship Una had ever seen. It was huge, much bigger than the steadfast dawn. It was black, so black that it seemed to eat the starlight around it. Its shape was strange, with sharp angles and curved sections that looked almost like claws. "It looks like a predator," whispered Hana. She was right. The ship looked like something that hunted, something that killed. Una felt a cold feeling in her stomach, but she did not show fear. A captain could not show fear. "They are sending another signal," said Dr. Kim. His voice was shaking. "Captain, I think they want to talk." "Then we will talk," said Una. "Open communications." The screen in front of them changed. Static filled it for a moment. Then the static cleared, and Una saw them for the first time. They were tall, very tall. Each one stood almost 3 meters high. They had 4 arms and scales that covered their skin like armor. Their eyes were forward-facing like a hunter's eyes, with pupils that were thin lines in the middle. When one of them opened its mouth, Una saw teeth, many teeth, sharp teeth. Everything about them said danger. Everything about them said predator. Hana's hand moved toward her weapon. Una held up her own hand to stop her. "Wait," she said quietly. Because Una had noticed something. The aliens were not attacking. They were not threatening. They were watching. And in their strange eyes, she saw something she did not expect. Curiosity, wonder, interest. They were looking at the humans the same way the humans were looking at them. "Dr. Kim," said Una slowly. "Look at them. Really look." Taiho stared at the screen. His eyes went wide behind his glasses. "They have forward-facing eyes," he said, "like us. They have hands made for grabbing like us. They are... Captain, they are predators. Like us." The largest alien stepped forward on the screen. Its voice was deep, and the computer worked hard to translate its words. "We have searched for 1,000 years," the alien said. "We looked for others like ourselves, hunters who became builders, predators who chose to create instead of only destroy. You are the first we have found." Una felt something change inside her. Fear became curiosity. Worry became hope. "Who are you?" she asked. "We are the Velthrak," said the alien. "I am Commander Krath. And you, small hunter, have just changed everything." Una looked at Hana. She looked at Teho. They were both afraid, but they were also excited. This was the moment humanity had waited for. "I am Captain Una Park," she said, "and I think we have much to talk about." Commander Krath made a sound that the computer translated as laughter, but it was not cruel laughter. It was the laughter of someone who had found something precious after searching for a very long time. "Yes," he said. "We have much to talk about. More than you know. The galaxy is not what you think it is, Captain Park, and your people are not alone anymore." Una straightened her back and looked directly at the alien commander. She was human. Her ancestors had hunted on the plains of Africa. They had survived ice ages and wars. They had built cities and sailed oceans and flown to the stars. And now, standing before another species of hunters, she felt something she had not expected to feel. She felt like she had found family. "Tell me everything," she said. And Krath smiled with all his many teeth. "With pleasure," he said. "But first you should know this. The galaxy fears creatures like us. They have hunted us for thousands of years, and now they will learn about you. When that happens, everything will change. Are you ready for that, Captain Park?" Una thought about her ship, her crew, her people back on Earth and the colonies. She thought about everything humanity had survived. "We have always been ready," she said. "We just did not know it yet." The meeting station floated in empty space between the two fleets. The humans had helped build it. The Velthrak had helped build it. It belonged to both of them and to neither of them. Ambassador Jiwoo Lee walked through its halls with her heart beating fast. She was young for this job. Too young, some said. But she had a gift. She could feel what others were feeling, even when they tried to hide it, even when they were not human. Commander Krath was waiting for her in the main chamber. He was even bigger in person than he had looked on the screen. His scales were dark green, and his 4 arms hung at his sides like weapons waiting to be used. But Jiwoo did not feel afraid. She felt something else from him, something like hope. "Ambassador Lee," said Krath. His voice was deep like rocks rolling down a mountain. "Thank you for coming." "Thank you for inviting me," said Jiwoo. "Captain Park told me you have things to share with us, things about the galaxy." "Yes," said Krath. He sat down heavily in a chair made for his size. "But first you must understand who we are, what we are." He told her the history of the Velthrak. They had evolved on a dangerous world. A world filled with things that wanted to kill them. They had become hunters to survive. They had developed sharp teeth and strong claws, and eyes that could see in the dark. "We were the best hunters on our world," said Krath. "Nothing could stop us. And then we learned to make tools. We learned to work together. We built cities and ships and flew to the stars, just like you." Jiwoo nodded. This was not so different from human history. "But when we reached the stars," Krath continued, "we found something we did not expect. We found that most other species were not like us. They were not hunters. They were prey." "Prey?" asked Jiwoo. "Yes. The galaxy is full of species that evolved from animals that ran away, not animals that chased. They developed intelligence to hide better, to work together against predators, to be afraid. They became smart because fear made them smart." Krath leaned forward. "And when they found species like us, species with teeth and claws and the instinct to hunt, they were terrified. They formed a group called the Concord of Worlds, and they began to destroy us." Jiwoo felt cold. "Destroy you?" "Yes. Every predator species they found, they eliminated. Some they killed directly. Some they changed, taking away their hunting instincts with medicine and technology. The Velthrak survived only because we ran. We hid at the edge of the galaxy where no one looked." "For how long?" 3,000 years. Jiwoo sat in silence. 3,000 years of hiding. 3,000 years of being hunted by those who feared being hunted. "And then we found your signals," said Krath. "Radio waves from a small planet around a yellow star. We listened. We learned your languages. We studied your history. And we realized something amazing." "What?" "You were like us. Predators who became builders. Hunters who learned to protect instead of only kill. We thought we were alone. We were not." In another part of the station, Lieutenant Hana Cho was meeting with Veltrak warriors. They were huge, much bigger than her, but she was not afraid of them. She understood them. "You were a soldier," said one of them, a female named Vess. "I can see it in how you move." "Yes," said Hana. "I fought in our border conflicts 10 years ago." "Did you enjoy it?" The question surprised Hana. She thought about it carefully. "Parts of it," she admitted. "The fighting itself sometimes. The feeling of being strong and fast and dangerous. But the killing? No. The killing I never enjoyed." Vess made a sound that might have been agreement. "This is what we struggle with," she said. "The joy of the hunt and the sorrow of the kill. They live together inside us." "Inside us too," said Hana. Dr. Taiho Kim was in the science section comparing data with Velthrak researchers. What he found amazed him. "The brain structures are so similar," he said to Captain Park later. "The parts that control aggression, the parts that control bonding with others, the parts that let us feel empathy, they all match. Evolution made us the same way." "What does that mean?" asked Yuna. "It means that being a predator does not just make you violent. It also makes you able to love. The same instincts that make a hunter also make a protector. A parent who will die for their child. A friend who will fight for another friend." "We are not monsters, Captain. We are guardians who have not yet found what we are meant to guard." Yuna thought about this for a long time. The meetings continued for days. Humans and Velthrak learned from each other. They shared food, though the Velthrak found human food too soft and humans found Velthrak food too tough. They shared stories of their worlds, their histories, their dreams. And then, on the 7th day, everything changed. An alarm sounded on the station. Krath's face went dark. "What is it?" asked Yuna. "A probe," said Krath. "A conquered probe. It was watching us. It has left now. It is going back to report." "Report what?" Krath looked at her with his hunter's eyes. "That there is a new predator species. That humans exist. That you are here." The room went silent. "They know about you now," said Krath quietly. "The Concord will come. They always come for our kind. And when they come, you will have to make a choice. The same choice my people made 3,000 years ago." "What choice?" asked Ji-Woo. "Whether to fight, whether to run, whether to change what you are to make them less afraid." Krath stood up. "The Velthrak chose to run. Maybe you will choose differently. But whatever you choose, you cannot choose alone anymore. The galaxy knows you exist, and the galaxy is afraid." Yuna looked at her crew, at Hana, the warrior, at Taiho, the scientist, at Ji-Woo, the diplomat. They were all afraid, but they were also something else. They were ready. "Then we will face them together," she said. "Humans and Velthrak. Predators who chose to be more than predators. Let them come. Let them see what we really are." Krath smiled his many-toothed smile. "I hoped you would say that," he said. "I have been waiting 3,000 years for someone to say that." They came 1 month later. Admiral Dongwook Shin stood on the command deck of his flagship, the Iron Mountain, and watched the enemy fleet appear. Ship after ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel. 10 ships, then 100, then 1,000. They filled the sky with their numbers. "How many?" he asked quietly. "Over 3,000 ships, sir," said his aide. "More than our entire fleet combined." Dongwook was an old soldier. He had white hair and a face full of lines from years of worry and command. He had never lost a battle, but he had also never faced anything like this. They are not attacking, he noticed. No, sir. They are waiting. A signal came through. Dongwook accepted it, and a face appeared on the screen. It was not human, not Veltrak. It was something else, an insect-like being with many eyes and thin arms that moved constantly. "I am High Arbiter Tessex of the Concord of Worlds," said the being. Its voice was high and clicking, but the translation came through clear. "I wish to speak with your leaders. I am Admiral Shin. I command this fleet." "No, Admiral. I wish to speak with those who speak for all humans, not just your military." Dongwook did not like this, but he had his orders. "Very well. We will arrange a meeting." The meeting took place on a neutral station. Captain Yuna Park was there, along with Ambassador Jiwoo Lee and Commander Krath of the Veltrak. High Arbiter Tessex came with 2 guards, but they kept their weapons down. "I have studied your species," said Tessex. Her many eyes looked at each human in turn. "You are predators. Your biology is clear. Forward-facing eyes, teeth made for tearing, hands made for grabbing. You evolved to kill." "We evolved to survive," said Jiwoo carefully. "By killing, by hunting, by destroying whatever stood in your way." Tessex's voice was not angry. It was sad. "I have seen this before, many times. Predator species rise, they build, they expand, and then they burn everything around them. We are not like that," said Yuna. "You say that now. They all say that at first." Tessex pulled up images on a screen. Burned planets, dead cities, whole species erased from existence. "These are what predator civilizations have done. Not all of them meant to do it. Some were good, like you claim to be. But their nature won in the end. It always wins." The room was silent. "This is why the Concord exists," continued Tessex. "We protect the galaxy from the danger of predators. We do not wish to hurt you. We offer you a choice." "What choice?" asked Jiwoo. "Integration. We have technology that can change your brains. It will make you less aggressive, less dangerous. You will still be intelligent. You will still build and create, but you will not have the urge to hunt, to dominate, to destroy." Yuna felt sick. "You want to change what we are. We want to save what you could be." Tessex leaned forward. "If you accept integration, you will be welcomed into the Concord. You will have access to technology and trade and friendship with 1,000 worlds. If you refuse—" "If we refuse?" "Quarantine. You will be contained in your current space. No expansion, no contact with other species, forever." Commander Krath made a low sound of anger. "This is what they offered, my people. We chose neither. We ran instead." "And look at what running cost you," said Tessex. 3,000 years of hiding. 3,000 years of being alone. Is that what you want for humanity?" The question hung in the air. Back on Earth and the colonies, the debate began. Some people agreed with Tessex. They were tired of war, tired of violence. If giving up their aggressive instincts meant peace, maybe it was worth it. Others refused completely. Admiral Shin was one of them. "They want to cut out part of our souls," he said at a war council. "They want to make us into something we are not. I would rather fight and die than become that." "If we fight, we will lose," said another general. "They have 3,000 ships. We have 300. Then we will lose as humans, not as whatever they want to turn us into." Dr. Taiho Kim had been working day and night. He finally had something to share. "I have studied human brains compared to other predator species," he told the council. "We are different. We have something they did not have." "What?" "Our prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain. It is much larger than other predators. This is the part that lets us control our instincts. We do not need to change our nature because we have already learned to choose what to do with it." "Can you prove this?" asked Yuna. "I can try, but I need time, and I need Tessex to listen." Yuna made a decision. She requested a private meeting with High Arbiter Tessix, just the two of them. They met on the neutral station in a small room with no guards. "You fear what we might become?" said Yuna. "I understand that fear. It is reasonable, but you do not know what we already are." "I know what predators are," said Tessix. "No, you know what some predators became. You do not know what we have chosen to be." Yuna took a deep breath. "Let me show you. Let me open our history to you. All of it. The good and the bad. The wars and the peace. The cruelty and the kindness. Let us prove what humans really are." Tessix was quiet for a long moment. Her many eyes studied Yuna's face. "No predator species has ever offered this before," she said. "Then let us be the first." Tessix thought about it. "Very well, Captain Park. Show me everything, and I will decide if your species deserves to exist as you are, or if you must change to survive." Yuna nodded. It was not much. It was not victory, but it was a chance. And sometimes, a chance was all a predator needed. The tribunal chamber was vast. It had been built to hold representatives from hundreds of species, and today it was full. Beings of all shapes and sizes sat in rows that rose up into darkness. They had come to judge humanity. Captain Yuna Park walked to the center of the chamber. She felt very small, but she had faced death before. She could face this. High Arbiter Tessix sat at the high table with other conquered leaders. "You may begin," she said. Yuna took a deep breath. "I will show you the truth about humanity. All of it. I will not hide anything. You will see the worst of what we are, and then you will see the best." She activated the display system. Images appeared in the air above her. "This is Earth," she said. "Our home world. And this is what we have done to each other." The images were terrible. Wars stretching back thousands of years, bodies in trenches, cities in flames, people hurting other people in every way possible, genocide, slavery, torture, cruelty without reason or purpose. The chamber was silent as they watched. Yuna saw horror on many faces. She saw some beings look away. "You were right to fear us," she said quietly. "We are capable of great evil. We have proven this many times. I will not pretend otherwise." One of the Concord leaders spoke. "This proves our point. Predators cannot control themselves." "No," said Yuna. "It proves that we are capable of great darkness. But that is only half of the truth." She changed the display. Lieutenant Hana Cho stepped forward. "I was a soldier," said Hana. "I was trained to kill. I have killed. But let me show you what else humans do with our capacity for violence." New images appeared. Firefighters running into burning buildings to save strangers. Soldiers throwing themselves on explosives to protect their friends. Ordinary people standing between armed attackers and innocent victims, knowing they might die. "Our instincts make us dangerous," said Hana. "But they also make us willing to die for others. The same drive that creates killers also creates protectors. We choose which one to be." Ambassador Jiwoo Lee stepped forward next. "Let me show you how humans have grown," she said. "How we have expanded who we protect." The images changed again. Ancient humans fighting for their families, then their tribes, then their nations. And then something strange happened. The circle kept getting bigger, movements to free slaves. Laws to protect strangers. Organizations that helped people on the other side of the planet who they would never meet. "We started by protecting only those who looked like us," said Jiwoo. "Then we learned to protect those who did not. We protected other humans. Then we protected animals. Then we protected our planet itself. The pack keeps growing. It never stops growing." "Words," said one of the Concord judges. "These are just words. Other predator species made similar promises." Dr. Taeho Kim stepped forward. "Then let me show you science," he said. Complex diagrams appeared, brain scans, genetic sequences, evolutionary trees. The predator species you have fought before had large limbic systems. That is the part of the brain that controls aggression and instinct. Humans have this too. But we also have something they did not have. He highlighted a part of the brain diagram. The prefrontal cortex, the part that controls planning, decision-making, and impulse control. In humans, it is much larger than in other predators. We evolved the ability to override our instincts, to choose our actions instead of just reacting. You are saying you can control yourselves, said Tessix. I am saying we already do. Every day, every hour, humans feel the urge to violence constantly, and constantly we choose not to act on it, not because we are weak, because we are strong enough to choose. Commander Krath was the last to speak. The massive Veltrak walked to the center of the chamber, and many beings shifted nervously. I am one of the creatures you fear, he said. I have claws. I have teeth. I have the instincts of a hunter. My people survived by hiding from you for 3,000 years. He paused. We survived, but we did not live. We were so afraid of what we were that we tried to become less. We hid our nature. We were ashamed of our strength. He looked at the humans. And then we found them. Predators who were not ashamed. Hunters who did not hide. They know what they are. They accept it. And they choose every day what to do with it. Krath turned back to the conquered judges. I have watched them closely. They do not deny their teeth. They do not pretend to be gentle creatures. They know they are dangerous. And that is why they work so hard to be good. Because they know what happens if they do not. This is not weakness, he continued. This is strength. Strength that we Velthrak never found. Maybe strength that your Concord never looked for. The chamber was silent. High Arbiter Tessix called for a recess. She asked to speak with Captain Park alone. In a private room, Tessix studied Yuna with her many eyes. Your testimony was powerful, she said. I found myself believing you, but I have believed predators before. I have trusted their promises, and then I watched them burn worlds. I understand, said Yuna. Do you? Do you understand what it is like to find ash where there used to be life? To know that you could have stopped it if you had been less trusting? No, Yuna admitted. I do not know that pain, but I know that trust is always a risk. It can never be guaranteed. All we can do is earn it, day by day, choice by choice. Tessix was quiet for a long time. The tribunal will make its decision soon, she said finally. But I want you to know something. In all my years, no predator species has ever done what you did today. No one has ever shown their darkness so openly, then asked to be trusted anyway. We are not asking to be trusted, said Yuna. We are asking for the chance to earn trust. There is a difference. Tessix made a sound that might have been a laugh. Yes, she said. There is. I am beginning to see that. She turned to leave, then stopped at the door. I hope you are what you claim to be, Captain Park. For all our sakes. Yuna watched her go. She did not know what the tribunal would decide, but she had done everything she could. Now humanity could only wait and hope that the truth was enough. The attack came without warning. While the tribunal debated humanity's fate, a group within the Concord decided not to wait. They called themselves the Purifiers. They believed all predators should be destroyed, not contained, not changed. Destroyed. Their ships appeared in human space at midnight, local Earth time. They headed straight for the colonies, weapons hot. Admiral Dongwook Shin received the alert on the Iron Mountain. His face went hard. How many ships? He demanded. 300. They are attacking civilian stations. Civilian stations. Families. Children. The predator inside Dongwook roared. He wanted to destroy them. He wanted to show them what humans could do when their people were threatened. All ships? prepare for battle, he ordered. Captain Una Park's voice came through the communication system. Admiral, wait! Captain, they are killing our people. I know, but this is a trap. Una's voice was steady. They want us to fight back with all our anger. They want us to prove that we are the monsters they say we are. If we destroy them completely, we prove their point. Dongwook's hands shook with rage. What do you suggest? Stop them. Save our people, but do not become what they fear. Capture, do not kill, protect, do not punish. It was the hardest thing Dongwook had ever done, but he understood. He gave new orders. All ships, precision strikes only. Disable engines, disable weapons. Do not destroy unless absolutely necessary. Our goal is to save lives, not take them. The human fleet moved like a pack of wolves, fast, coordinated, deadly, but controlled. They struck at the Purifier ships with surgical precision. They did not waste shots on killing when disabling would work. Lieutenant Hana Cho led her boarding teams onto crippled enemy vessels. They expected to find monsters. Instead, they found terrified beings who had been told that humans would eat them alive. Medical team to Deck 7, Hana ordered. We have wounded aliens here. Sir, said one of her soldiers, they attacked us. They tried to kill our families. Yes, and now they are wounded prisoners. We treat wounded prisoners. That is who we are. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the Purifiers were defeated, but only 47 of their ships were destroyed. The rest were captured. Human medics treated alien wounded. Human ships protected fleeing alien civilians who had been caught in the crossfire. The galaxy watched in shock. Commander Krath watched from the Velthrak flagship. Tears ran from his hunter's eyes. In 3,000 years, he said quietly, I have never seen predators fight like this. They had every reason for vengeance. Their families were attacked. Their children were in danger, and they chose mercy. He turned to his officers. We have been hiding for too long. We have been ashamed of what we are for too long. If humans can do this, so can we. No more hiding. It is time for the Velthrak to stand beside them. The tribunal reconvened 1 week later. High Arbiter Tessix stood before the assembly. I have studied predators my entire life, she said. I have feared them. I have fought them. I have watched them burn worlds. She paused. And I have never seen anything like what happened in human space. She looked at Una, who stood in the center of the chamber. These beings were attacked. Their children were threatened. They had superior numbers. They could have destroyed every Purifier ship. No one would have blamed them. Instead, they captured. They protected. They saved lives, even the lives of those who tried to kill them. Tessix's voice grew stronger. I was wrong. These beings are predators, yes. They have teeth and claws and the instinct to hunt. But they are also something I have never seen before. Predators who hunt their own darkness. They do not need our modification. Perhaps we need their example. She called for a vote. It was close, but the majority agreed. Humanity was granted provisional membership in the Concord of Worlds, the first predator species ever accepted. The chamber erupted in mixed sounds. Some cheered, some protested, but it was done. 5 years later, Admiral Una Park stood on the bridge of humanity's first diplomatic flagship. The stars stretched out before her, infinite and beautiful. Beside her stood her old crew. Lieutenant General Hana Cho, still the warrior but now a peacekeeper. Ambassador Ji-Woo Lee, now the voice of humanity to the stars. Director Tai-Ho Kim, head of the new Xenological Institute. And Commander Krath, the first Velthrak to serve openly alongside other species. They feared us because they saw what we could destroy, said Una softly. They accept us because they finally see what we choose to protect. Krath nodded. His teeth showed in what humans had learned was a smile. When we found you, he said, we expected to find survivors. Refugees like us, hiding from a galaxy that hated our nature. Instead, We found teachers. We are still learning ourselves, said Yuna. Yes, but you are not afraid to learn. That is the difference. Other predator species had begun to emerge across the galaxy. Species that had hidden for centuries, inspired by the human example. The Concord was changing, slowly, painfully, but changing. Jiwoo joined them at the window. We have a long way to go, she said. Many still fear us. Many still want to destroy us. Yes, said Yuna, but we have time, and we have each other. Humans and Velthrak and whoever else finds the courage to stand with us. Taiho pushed up his glasses. You know, scientifically speaking, predators are not just killers. We are the ones who care most fiercely, who protect most strongly, who love most deeply, because we know what it costs. Hana nodded. Every parent who would die for their child, every friend who would fight for another, every stranger who runs toward danger to help someone they have never met. That is the predator instinct, too. The flagship prepared to jump to the galactic core, where Yuna would address the full Concord assembly. She took one last look at the stars. Being a predator did not mean being a monster. The teeth that could tear could also defend. The instinct to hunt could become the drive to protect. The capacity for violence and the capacity for love came from the same fierce heart. When apex predators met humans, they did not see prey. They saw themselves, and they learned they could be more. "Jump when ready," ordered Admiral Park. The flagship leaped into the light between stars, carrying humanity's message to the cosmos. We are what we choose to be. And humans had chosen to be guardians.